What's up? Want to talk about some fascinating stuff today? At least this is what I think. The YouTube and algorithms are doing as far as messing with reality. Now, last week I watched a bunch of shows. I'm watching TV shows, walking in and out of my dad's room. I don't really watch too much television shows anymore, but he has 2 TVs running in his room. You can see the interference pattern come in the analog TV when there's being frequencies beamed through, and there's definitely frequencies going on. One messes up one way, the older one messes up a different way, but you see it. It'll, like when you used to put your cell phone next to your car stereo, and it used to make that crazy sound. Well, they still pick up certain things. So, on YouTube, we get different videos pop up into this, suggested for you to watch this, suggested for you to watch that. And I've been noticing the videos that are suggested jump way back far in time. I don't want to watch a video from 7 years ago. If I'm watching current events news, if I'm watching it for like that. But what I've noticed is when I watch those things, it's as if the content in the movies or the shows is more relevant. And what I think is happening is I think the AI is using that to communicate to humans, or at least to seed our consciousness, because most people probably don't see it as that. Now, the people that are using Pandora are saying that the angel Samuel is communicating through people through Pandora, which is kind of weird. And I can't remember what show I watched where the guy was, I had never heard that before. It was quite interesting, because apparently it's the how it plays the random songs. Now, I think other dimensional beings will definitely use that. If they're not trying to directly contact you, they might try to contact you through that. But ultimately, your own consciousness would do that too. If you were to, now if we're supposedly manifestors of our reality, there's a certain, in this area, where manifestations are going to happen. Like, it's going to be in your immediate area pretty fast. Like, if I try to manifest a cube and it just started growing in my hand, well, that'd be pretty fucking cool. But the likelihood of it appearing in the peripheral far away and then coming into the reality is dependent upon that effect of how far out the bands go and then condense and you pull it back into yourself. But what I'm saying is these videos are definitely, if there's an AI controlling it and they're changing through the dates, that we should be aware of that as a possibility for a communication. Now, you could say, is it the AI communicating? Is it my higher self communicating things to me? Well, it could be all of those. Because, if we all are one, and we are, and we're experiencing the not self as a self, then the arrangement of how close into your life something would definitely be affected. Like, I live here with my dad. He had cancer. He had this removed, and we're pretty close. So I can identify with him, one, because he's my dad and he's a lot closer to me. However, someone else on the other side of the world is still just as much not me, but my self is in them too. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying that's those differences and distances and what'll play into your life is greatly affected. And in the remote viewing thing, or in the CIA paper that talks about Project Stargate, they talk about having a box. And when you meditate in the Monroe Institute, they talk about having a box that you when you meditate, you place your cares into it. So I've been making those out of organite since I have a cube and I have the mold. So I'm interested in making some of those and maybe getting them out there, because I found that it's an excellent, wonderful tool for containing whatever. And I've also got, and have been using for quite a while now, the hyperspace archetypes from the Montauk book of Stuart Swerdlow's, the Healer's Handbook. There's two of them. There's the Healer's Handbook and there's another one. I lent one of them out and didn't get it back. But the one that has the archetype language, I did take a picture of that and make the file of it. So if anybody's interested in getting that, I can email that to them, because that's pretty handy. It's got all the nice archetypes in it, different signs that supposedly he got from Montauk. So you have basically a different language of symbolism. When I was young, I used to make my own, and I think that's a very healthy and good conscious tool. You know, definitely sigils, making symbols and stuff like that is definitely something very useful. And like, I've always liked Hebrew. Whenever I was fresh out of high school, I got involved with the Golden Dawn. I went to downtown Houston. They have a bookstore called the Magic Cauldron, and one of the books I was looking in, I opened it up and there was a flyer for a Golden Dawn Hermetic Order group. So I had joined the Golden Dawn and did that for a couple years. I like the experience. I think it's good to have a group to work with. Somebody I was talking with last night, a witch lady, wants to get involved with like a coven, and I definitely understand that people who are more magical or psychic and stuff like that definitely need to have some practice in group work. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Just touch on some things, but I've definitely been cranking out the orgonite. I like that. I need to get some more crystals. I have a lot of rose crystal quartz out in the yard, but definitely I like to make it and cure it and put it under different frequencies, like different brainwave frequencies, delta. I like to mix the frequencies up. Apparently, if you get 5 intersecting frequencies, you get self-awareness, self-similarity. So there's definitely some interesting stuff. If anybody wants to look up Dan Winter's stuff on the plasma physics, I know Zeph Daniels, he's the plasma. There's definitely something going on with plasma. I saw him doing that stuff in space, making I don't know. It's definitely alive. It has definitely a life to it. But I think there's life and consciousness and everything. I haven't been able to, communicate with all things like that. But, I like to try. I like to think that, the mirror right here, it's got a little... Are you aware? Love mirrors. See, I'm sitting inside of my, this is my dream cage. I can sit in here and meditate and be inside of my Faraday cage. I used to sleep in that. If you sleep inside of a Faraday cage with a star tetrahedron, oh man, you can definitely, you'll squirt yourself right out into dream world. And isn't that what everybody wants?